Okay, evil people manipulating and using the virus in truly horrendous fashion. Now, the obvious thing is people overpricing for simple items like toilet paper and water. But that's an easy enough thing to deal with. People will, obviously try and scavenge as best they can until things calm down, which they kind of have. I mean, it's not too hard to get toilet paper now. Some things like bleach and sanitizer wipes are a little harder to get. But I'm actually talking about something that's much harder to pin down and not really being talked about. And that is, the old notion of the global elite, people who are really running things. And of course, there's been the rumors about people like Bill Gates and such for many years. Now, Bill Gates is a very reasonable, intelligent person, very, very intelligent person, but he's gone through a lot of things in his career. I'm not in any way trying to besmirch him, but I have always heard things about, vaccines and viruses. Now, he talked about it for 5 years ago, almost describing exactly what's happening now and how we're not prepared. But I don't really even want to discuss Bill Gates because by all appearances he seems the most forward-thinking person on the grand scale of worldwide opinion as far as this virus goes. But his understanding and knowledge is so great that it really is something that is hard for most people to understand. So let's talk about anonymous people that we don't know, who could do things like just say Russia, for instance, as an example. Russia could weaponize the virus and then turn it on the world. Now, that's just an example. It's not anything that we know. That's the point. We don't know what's going on. Things are happening every day that we don't understand. Like, the chairman of North Korea is supposedly disappeared and dead. That sort of thing will happen off the spur of the moment on any given year. It's just in times like this, it seems more hard to pin down exactly what's going on. I mentioned before about Russia closing its borders in January and China not reporting deaths for the last 2 months and all this sort of thing. The point, obviously, that I'm making is that there's so little that we do know. And we're focused on certain very narrow things like not, social distancing and sanitizing and hand washing and all those things, that we're really not looking at the big picture. And the big picture is, what don't we know? Now, one of the things we don't know is who or if anyone might be evil enough to have engineered this in some fashion. And then, even as bad, those that can see clearly the opportunities to manipulate and take advantage of the situation. These are things that are not being discussed and analyzed very thoroughly. I mean, there are factions that think in one way or another. Obviously, it's very easy to look at China right now and say that they are very possibly the villain in this case. But the problem is we really don't know very much at all. And who, in this age of journalism basically just turning into garbage for the last 10 years, a slow process of journalism turning into nonsense, and papers closing and staffs being gutted, it's very hard to find people who can find these answers. But we should be answering their questions. Polo, your life's a conspiracy.